If the month of April is supposed to feel like a fresh start, why do we feel secretly exhausted, behind, or carrying guilt about those goals we haven't yet hit? Let's get inside your readers' heads with your Quarter 2 podcast content as a host and guest. And today, on this episode, we're stepping into April. Now, on the surface, April feels like the good stuff, right? We see Easter, spring, new beginnings, fresh flowers, sunshine. And if you scroll through your social feed, you'll be thinking everyone is out there thriving in their pastel outfits with a basket full of hope, right? But April's also the month where the shine of January goals has finally worn off. April means we're a full quarter into the year, and a lot of us are quietly carrying a little something called unfinished. Unfinished goals, unfinished chapters of our book. Hello. Unfinished conversations with ourselves about whether we're really where we thought we'd be by now. And for your reader, she's feeling all of that too. So today we're going to do exactly what this series is all about. And we're going to read the room your readers are sitting in April. And I'm going to help you plan content, whether you're hosting your own show or guesting on someone else's that actually meets her right there where she is. So let's run April through our simple 3S method that I shared on our last episode for creating topics and talking points. And that's struggle, support, and showing up. Because when we think through all three of these, we stop talking just to the one person in the thick of it, and we start speaking to everyone in the room, whether as a guest or host. So first, the struggle. What is your target reader likely carrying in April? A few things come to mind. The first is that quiet gap, between where she thought she'd be by now and where she actually is. Maybe she thought she'd be slaying those resolutions, starting that new project, taking better care of herself. April has a way of just holding up a mirror to us. But, there's also that spiritual stretch that comes with Easter, questions we have about faith, renewal. What does new life actually look like in the middle of real life? And for the mama in your audience, spring break just happened or is happening, and she's running on fumes, trying to hold everything together while everyone on social media is posting their perfect family pictures in a bluebonnet field somewhere. Now, let's talk support. How is your reader trying to support a loved one through these same struggles? She might have a family member who's really struggling this spring. They're coming out of a hard winter, literally or figuratively. She's looking for something that says, I thought of you. That's the gift of shareable content, and your episode can be that for somebody. And finally, showing up. How is your reader showing up for her friends, her coworkers, and those she serves this quarter? So think about the women she leads, the women she serves in her nonprofit, even the women she sits next to at church or at work. She wants to be present for them in a real way, not just on the surface. And your message, the one you wrote your book about, can give her the words she needs to say to somebody she shows up for. Okay, so now that we've read the room for April, let's talk about what you actually do with this. So there's 4 ways you can use these ideas to create content that connects with your readers. And I want to walk you through these so you can pick out the one that fits right where you are now. So the first option is episode ideas as a host or guest. So when you're putting together your talking points for an April episode, instead of starting about what your book covers, start with what your reader is feeling right now. You can bridge to your message from there in a way that feels natural and genuinely helpful, but it doesn't sound like a yucky commercial, right? The second option is a pop-up bonus episode on your own podcast. If you've already batched your Q2 episodes, good for you, seriously. But don't stress about squeezing April themes into something you've already recorded. Instead, you can record a short standalone bonus episode, like just 5 to 8 minutes, that speaks directly to what your reader is carrying right now. It works even better if every episode on your show is an interview promoting somebody else's book. So you could think of this bonus episode as a between the episodes moment, a quick word from a friend who gets what they're struggling with right now. So you could tuck it between two already scheduled episodes and let it do its work in meeting your readers right where they are. Another option is adding a seasonal talking point when you're a guest. And this is one of my favorite little moves because it works on any show, whether it's a super niche show to your topic or totally different, more of a wide variety. When you're being interviewed, you can weave in one seasonal observation that ties to your message, something like, what I'm hearing from so many women right now, especially this time of year, is the new year energy is kind of settled. It's that, they're quietly wondering if anything is actually going to change this year, right? So think of little sentences like that you could plug in that talks about your own message, and that's your on ramp. And it doesn't even have to call out the month of April. It could just be during this season of life, right? Then the last option, this one is a new favorite of mine, and it's a short standalone podcast you can share as your call to action, especially when guesting. So instead of sending listeners to your website or just mentioning your book and hoping for the best, what if you had a short 6-episode podcast? It could be a public podcast or a private podcast reader magnet, but it gives readers just a taste of your message and keeps the relationships going. They're already connecting with you in a podcast app, so it's the easiest next step to keep the conversation going way past that one interview. And how many people would be anxious to go click on a button and listen to a new podcast that's super duper timely to the struggles they're dealing with this season? Now, after hearing all that, I know what some of you are thinking. Kim, I don't have time to do all this. And that's exactly why I made you something. I have a free brainstorming guide for this Q2 series with prompts to help you think through your reader's struggles. Plus, AI prompts you can copy and paste to generate episode ideas in seconds for you to review. No more excuses that marketing takes too much time. Let me help you speed it up so you can get back to what you do best, writing books. And listen, these ideas can also be used for sharing your podcast episodes on your blog, your social media, and your emails in April. They make great timely hooks when repurposing old content too. So grab your free brainstorming guide as a link in the show notes. And remember, marketing is simply letting someone know you can help them. And April is the perfect month to do exactly that. Your reader is sitting in that quiet gap between who she hopes she'd be and who she's becoming, and your message might be exactly the thing that helps her take one simple step forward. Next up is the month of May, one of the most emotionally layered months of the year. Mother's Day, graduations, weddings, the start of summer, big transitions like moving, retiring. It's a lot. So come back next episode for timely content ideas as your reader might need your message more than ever in May. Thanks for tuning into Book Marketing Mania. And as always, I'll be there for you next episode to help you reach and serve your readers one podcast at a time. See you then.